I read the paper that Martin Wolf talked about, because you cited his article. So this is great. And then he referenced the paper. And within it, they basically said, they were using America as an example, but they said that an increase in the tax rate on the value of land from a level of 0.55% to 5.55%, with reductions in taxation on produced capital and labour. So you increase the land tax and you reduce taxes around working. They think that would raise output by 15%. So they're talking about GDP there.
Yeah.
That's massive.
And again, this is conventional amongst economists of left and right that we should be taxing land more than we tax labour. But it doesn't happen. It's been a political idea since Henry George in the 19th century, and no advanced economy has done it. Now, I'm not being that ambitious. I'm suggesting replace our shitty land taxes with a better land tax. You could go further and use some of the revenues to reduce income tax, but that means even more complaints from people in large houses. If you remember Ed Miliband's mansion tax, it was so slated at the time. A cynic would say because it affected a lot of newspaper editors, but it was so slated at the time that even Jeremy Corbyn didn't include that or anything like that in his two manifestos. The Labour Party was so bruised by the mansion tax experience. And I fear that's why we won't see any kind of major land tax reform, just as the pasture tax experience means we're not seeing VAT reform.
We had Martin Wolf here. He was great. He was very sharp, very sharp.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah, he is. And he said something in his article that made me think about it. He said, basically, I bought a house in London and I have benefited from the collective work of everyone in London, and the price of the land under my house has risen.
Yeah.
I did nothing for that. He's like, yeah, I was part of the London system, but actually that London system's benefited from the work ethic of millions of people and the taxes that they've paid to improve the system. So by not taxing the land, you're just giving people a free ride on the backs of others' efforts, essentially, was how he positioned it.
The problem is that people who are living in a house which is appreciating in value don't think that. They think they've done something clever. And any attempt to tax that is going to be hugely resisted by boomers living in large houses who've paid off their mortgage. And these people vote.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one. And they're probably not going to move house again, so they don't much care about the other taxes that are so damaging. So it's a difficult political problem.
That was a clip from our chat with tax expert Dan Needle. If you want to watch the full episode, you can click right here.